Well, these opportunities don't come around every day for Tennessee football. I've been here since 1996, and it's been since 1998 that these opportunities have been here. Mark Packer along with Austin Price. Jason Swain down there. Jason, we'll start with you. It's all right in front of you.
That's right. You control your own destiny. In the East, you can control your own destiny from a national standpoint. If you want to win a national championship, whichever team wants to, you control that as well. Top 6 team in the country, got your biggest rival coming in this weekend, and College Game Day is coming back because they want some more of that atmosphere. So Tennessee's playing great right now, and I got to keep it going.
Austin, you're shaking your head. Why are you shaking your head?
I would tell you that Tennessee has a chance this weekend, but Marks has done jinx the whole thing. They don't even have his orange jacket on, Jason.
He already wore it twice already.
How did I done jinx it? I can't.
You've already jinxed it. I mean, you didn't wear your orange jacket. I mean, you said you were going to wear it. Did he not say that last week when we went off the air?
No, I said I would wear it if they beat Florida. I will wear it if they beat Alabama. As a matter of fact, I'll even throw in some orange pants and orange underwear if they beat Alabama. I mean, here's the deal. Tennessee now number 6 in the country. Alabama falls to 3 after the escape of Texas A&M. And the Vegas line right now, Alabama by 7.5. If you had said at the start of the year, if you just had this conversation.
Do you know what the line was back in July?
What was it?
What do you think it was?
I'm going to guess 24.
It was in 20s.
14.
Oh.
Was it really?
14.
It was 14, so it's only moved
14 and a half, I think, yeah.
7 points?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Alabama comes to town, and I'll say the same thing I did to Jason. You've got it right in front of you.
You do. Again, you can look at this one of two ways. This question was posed on the General's Quarters earlier at VolQuest. Would you rather beat Georgia or Alabama? I said, well, you get two different, scenarios. If you beat Alabama and not Georgia, then you're not going to Atlanta. But you get past 16 years of misery against Alabama. Whereas if you beat Georgia but not Alabama, you're probably going to Atlanta, as long as you take your business against everybody else you're supposed to, Jason, and you get a second crack at Alabama.
I think Atlanta should be the number 1 goal.
Well, sure it should.
I mean, I know there's some advantages of, losing Alabama, but beating Georgia. Beating Alabama, losing to Georgia, not going to Atlanta, and then letting those guys kind of beat each other, and still have an opportunity to kind of slide into the college football playoff. But
you do have that opportunity.
Atlanta is always the number 1 goal. Always.
If you're in college football, and if you can win the SEC East or win the SEC West, you are in the mix. I mean, you're in the mix if you win one of those two. What impressed you the most about Saturday for Tennessee? To me, it was the defensive front 7.
I was going to say both lines of scrimmage. I thought with Mincy out, rolling with J.J. Crawford and Dane, guys that haven't played a ton of football against a pretty formidable front 4 for LSU, Jason. I thought that was a really good. You ran for 263 yards. I mean, really, Jabari Small goes over 100 and about almost 150 yards. Hendon made plays with his legs. You protected well. You did what you needed to do. You scored 8 on 8 different drives. You only punted the ball twice. I think a lot of that was because of the defensive line. Hendon, yes, but the offensive line was so good. And then defensively, you only allowed 55 yards rushing. And if you take away the quarterback runs, they're only averaging about 1.7 yards per carry by the tailbacks. So the defensive line continues to step up and play really, really well. So I gave both my MVPs to the offensive and defensive units up front, the defensive line, offensive line, and Coach Ellerby and Coach Garner. That's
where I was going to go. I was going to go to the offensive line, defensive line, inside of the trenches. For Jabari Small to go for over 100 yards, I think is tremendous for the offensive line. No other back this year against LSU has went over 100 yards, and Jabari Small did that and could have went over 200 if he didn't slip and fall. So
one run, man, he'd still be running.
Yeah, he was great. The holes were wide open, and offensive line did a really good job of protecting Hendon. Also defensively, think about the Florida game where Florida was 5 for 6 on 4th down.
Right.
LSU 0 for 3 on 4th down. That was a huge improvement from the Florida game.
So if I throw in the Tennessee fan base in Death Valley, okay?
Well,
if I throw in the Tennessee fan base and I say offensive line, defensive line, or the fan base that controlled that stadium.
Or?
I'm saying or, of those 3.
That's the guys that play on the field.
Yes, I agree. But you put it all together, and it just
roll with me.
Hey, listen, it's an impressive. They won every phase. They won special teams. They won offense. They won defense. They won the fan base. It wasn't even close. I mean, you go back to the opening kickoff, the muffed kick, you had the 58-yard punt return by D. Williams. I mean, hey, kudos to the staff for throwing him back there in Death Valley. I mean, like, and I know it wasn't nighttime Death Valley, but still, I mean, on the road in an SEC game, the first time you hit the field, and he makes that play, and then later, I mean, they're going to go back and go, why did you touch that ball? He caught it like at the 7 or whatever, but his arms was all contorted left. I mean, it was a heck of a catch.
If there was one thing to say what has changed for Tennessee football.
Confidence. It's all
Is
confidence.
it just confidence?
It's confidence, man. It's buy-in and confidence. It goes such a long way with teenagers, with 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds. I mean, it just goes – you talk about a group that just believes, Jason. They believe when they step on the field they belong, and that goes a long way. And it's why if they go and compete hard Saturday and they believe they can beat Alabama, they'll have a shot. Even if Bryce Young plays, they'll have a shot because when you believe, it takes you a little bit further than when you doubt.
Exactly. It is all confidence. I mean, that's the only thing that's been different, from Heupel's first year to this year or the year before Heupel. I mean, taking a team that had 30-plus guys lead the program, an offense that was in the hundreds.
But how's it
happen?
happen? How's it happen?
It's confidence. It's getting guys to believe in themselves. You see, as a coach, you're supposed to see things in players that they can't see themselves, and that's what this coach staff has done with Josh Heupel leading the charge.
They have taken on the personality of their head coach. He talked about this a couple of weeks ago after the Florida game about just embracing the moment, and he talked about, hey, I think I've got a little something here from my playing days that I can impart on this team. Because I've been through that. There is no putting your head in the sand, going into a bubble, putting on headphones and blocking out the fact you're playing a top 5 Alabama team this week. You embrace that. You know what you're getting into because guess what? Uncle's calling, your mom's calling, your dad's calling, your girlfriend's calling, your friends are calling, your buddies are calling, everything going on. You can't get away from it, so just embrace it. Just roll with it, accept it, hug it, and get ready for it.
Here's what's amazing to me is you watch the Oklahoma game against Texas. And they lose 49-0, and you see some former Tennessee players out there.
Sure.
And Tennessee's drilling LSU at the same time. And then here comes Henry. Toto comes to town, and he's like, I'm going to Knoxville, to Neyland Stadium. We're number 3, and they're number 6? If I'm a former player that left, I'm like, what happened since I left?
I mean, they had every reason to leave.
No, they did. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying how things have changed.
Yeah. I mean, kudos to Josh Heupel, and the players for buying in and putting in that work and making it awkward for a guy like Henry come back and Tennessee being a 6th-rated team in the country and College Game Day coming back. OU, they're terrible. It's as simple as that. They're terrible.
They're terrible.
And if those guys would have stayed, they would have experienced being on a good team this
year. So here's the thing. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, one of those big linemen that's been here through all of it, who comes in here with a smile on his face, Darnell Wright, next on The Locker Room, connected by Iris Network.
You're supposed to smile, Darnell.
They smile and smile.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Iris Networks, Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, and Exterior Home Solutions.
When it comes to the game of football, teamwork is critical for success. When it comes to customer service and business, that team approach is just as critical. That's why we're such believers in our friends at Exterior Home Solutions. We have seen firsthand how Exterior Home Solutions has supported our community and treats their customers just like family. So when it comes to roofing, siding, or maybe a complete overhaul, please make Exterior Home Solutions your first and only call.
Football is back, and OAB Law is excited for a season full of big hits and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OAB Law will come to your defense. Call OAB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Blue 2020 F-150 $41,990. Hut! Jake drops back. He's got a deal wide open. The crowd goes wild. With savings, whether you're looking for a low-mileage pre-owned truck to tailgate in or a minivan to get the whole family to the game, the Pre-Owned Patrol has what you're looking for. Only at Ted Russell Ford on Kingston Pike or Parkside Drive.
Hey, this is UT head football coach Josh Heupel. It's football time in Tennessee. When the Big Orange play, you don't have to miss a second of the action. Before, during, and after the game. Just make sure your radios are tuned in to 107.7 WIVK. Or if you're on the go, download the WIVK app and listen anywhere. Your flagship station for the Tennessee Volunteers. 107.7 WIVK. It's a Tennessee tradition.
Do you want top-of-the-line fitness equipment for home, school, or work? New or reconditioned, Dynabody in Maryville has everything you need to build that gym. Used equipment brands include Paramount, Life Fitness, Nautilus, Hammer Strength, and Precor. Reach for the power with Dynabody.
You know, I think this is a great time on the Food City player perspective to get a player's perspective who's been here from the Jeremy Pruitt era to the Josh Heupel era.
Yeah, and when all of those players that were in his recruiting class left, Darnell Wright did not. Loyalty very much important to big number 58, Jason, and you're joined by big number 58 now.
For sure, offensive line was dominant against LSU. Going into the game, all you heard was about defensive front there for LSU and how they got after the pass in the Auburn game. What was that challenge like for you guys, and why do you think you were able to kind of meet that challenge and spring Jabari for over 100 yards and keep Hendon Hooker pretty clean for most of the game?
Yeah, man, I think when you watch guys on film and you hear about such things, the wrong thing to do is say, "Oh man, nah, they're not like that." What you want to do is you want to be scared, you want to be nervous, because it makes you just invest that much more into the game. So then you come out with something like that.
All we've heard about is Death Valley and the atmosphere. Of course, playing 11 o'clock local time helped a little bit, but that's a tough place to play. At the beginning of the game, how loud was it? How rowdy was it for you guys?
Yeah, man. I mean, that stadium, I mean, it speaks for itself. But yeah, I mean, their fans were out there, our fans were out there, and it was definitely rocking.
That feeling when the game was pretty much over, all the LSU fans left, but all you saw was orange and everyone singing Rocky Top. How was that feeling as a player sitting up there and kind of watching, Tennessee take over an opposing team stadium?
I mean, yeah, it's just like you said, you know you've won the game, obviously, and but what it really feels like is you really took over. Like you took over and your fans showed up and showed out, like, and you just look around and they're still there for you, you know what I'm saying?
You're a guy that's been recruited for multiple years in high school. You probably heard 100 recruiting pitches. You offensive linemen, what are you saying right now when high school offensive linemen come in? How are you recruiting them to come to Tennessee, Darnell?
Me personally, I never want to tell a kid that he has to go somewhere because I know how that would feel when I was coming out of high school, just feeling confused, like, somebody's telling you this, another one's telling you that. I try to give them the truth. Like I try to give them, you can look, you see we're winning, you see what we're doing. And if you want to know anything like how the coaches are, how the coaches really act, I tell the truth. And, I think a recruit can appreciate that with them feeling like everybody's trying to get over on them, what I mean?
What are you telling them? What are you telling them about this offensive line, about your experience at Tennessee right now, winning, having fun? What are you telling them right now about being in the room with Glenn Eleby, being in the room with you, Darnell Wright?
Yeah, if you come and be a part of our team, it's going to build you. I mean, Glenn Eleby's going to build you. He's not going to build you into he's not going to you're not just going to be a football player. He's going to build you into a better man. Like he's going to build you into something you can personally be proud of, along with the football stuff, along with the winning, along with everything. You're going to be a better person.
When you're on the sideline in between possessions and you're going through the adjustments with your coaches and you're talking to your teammates, did you ever look up at the Jumbotron and kind of see the defense getting after the opposing team's quarterback? I mean, Tennessee has some sacks, man. Did you get a chance to see that?
Yeah, man, it's funny. We'll be sitting there, we're correcting the things that we did wrong, or we're going talking over some stuff, and you see guys breaking away from Coach Eleby. He's trying to write up things. He's like, come on, lock in, you know what I'm saying? And we're just, but how it goes.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was really fun to see. What was the opposing fans saying to you, man? We're on TV now, you got to keep it clean, but anything that stands out that they were saying to you that kind of motivated you to go out there and win and shut them up before the end of the game?
Honestly, I don't know. If you're talking about like while we're walking in, maybe I don't know. I had headphones on and stuff, but
that's probably the best thing to do.
I don't know. I just feel like The most motivating thing was them maybe thinking like we're overrated or it's not going to go down how it is. Like, you know what I mean?
You have multiple guys playing on the offensive line. Some guys coming in with Mincy not playing. Did you, as a leader or someone who's been here for a while, you get a chance to talk to them? If you did, what'd you say? If not, what do you think about their performance and them coming in and filling in and doing the job?
Yeah, man. First of all, I think those guys, they played great. I mean, they stepped up when they needed to. And as opposed to them maybe feeling nervous, it's good to feel nervous, but I looked at it as like, look, guys, you know what I'm saying? You want to play, you want to be on the field. Like, now you have an opportunity. Like, it's here, it's right now, and just go take it.
Number 3, Alabama's coming in. Mm-hmm. Tennessee's number 6. College game day is coming back. You experienced a little bit of that college game day energy a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Do you expect it to be even more? And what's your approach heading into this week with Alabama coming in being a top 5 team?
Yeah, I think this week is going to be a big challenge for us. I mean, every week is a challenge. And I think the fans, you think about the rivalry and the history behind this game. It goes a lot deeper than when I've been here, and it's going to be a lot deeper when I leave. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great atmosphere.
Definitely will be a great atmosphere. Big 58 right here, Darnell Wright. I think he'll be ready to go, guys.
I agree. Again, the last 2 seasons, you've heard Darnell Wright's name very little. And when you're an offensive lineman, that's a good thing. That means no one's beating you and no one's going, man, he was terrible today. He kept getting whipped. No, it's Darnell doing the whipping.
Yeah, Alabama and Tennessee, 3:30 on Saturday on CBS. We'll continue with the Locker Room, connected by Iris Networks after this. By the way, as we go to break, if you would like to support the Big Orange yourself, you can join the Volunteer Club, and that's with Spire Sports. And that helps with situations like tonight, having Darnell come and join us in studio tonight. For as little as $5 a month, you can support the Vols at volunteerclub.com. We'll be right back.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Commercial Bank, Humana, E2 Sports, and OEB Law. The Locker Room is brought to you in part by Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, the exclusive orthopedic provider for University of Tennessee athletics for over 70 years.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith, or this John Smith, or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith, who we paired with a Humana team member to help address his own specific health needs. At Humana, we take a personal approach to your health to provide care that's just as unique as you are, no matter what your name is.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh, I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
D1 training is not only for the athlete who wants to perform at their best. D1 offers adult training programs because we believe everybody needs training. With a specialized facility, targeted workouts, and professional trainers, D1 Training has been in business 20 years strong. We'll give you everything you need to succeed. All you have to do is show up. Join us, D1 Hardin Valley or D1 Sevier County.
D1 Sports Training, the place for the athlete.
Takes us inside the huddle with Humana, and this week it's on that defensive line. Well, they played awfully well.
They really did. I mean, when you factor the Leos, Well, first off, they had 27 tackles from the defensive linemen. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But when you factor in the Leos, Byron Young, Roman Harrison, Josh Josephs, all getting a sack at one point in yesterday's game, if not more. There's Roman Harrison right there. Just a really, really good effort by the defensive line. And again, goes back to what I talked about in the opening segment. What Coach Garner's getting out of that group, him and Coach Eckler with the Leos, kudos.
Well, it looks like that Bryce Young will be back. From all indications are the AC joint sprain that he had, and every quarterback reacts a little differently to it. He tried to come in the second half when the A&M game was close, went to the coaches, asked if he could go in. Doctors had said no, but all indications are he's going to play. That's a different Alabama team with him in there, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's cool, he's calm, he's collected. He's a stud. I mean, he's accurate with the football. Doesn't turn the ball over. And one thing he doesn't have, though, he doesn't have those receivers that he had last year. So their receivers are not as good as last year. They're not as dynamic, but he is special. And a couple hits to him, and we'll see how he responds to that, hitting the ground a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, they don't run him a whole lot, but he naturally, eludes and avoids and normally makes some plays with his legs. I just wonder how much they really discourage that. Like, hey, I know you want to do those things, but we really need you, if nothing's there, to get rid of the football. Don't. We need you to live to play another day and not, be out an extended period of time.
How much of Alabama is between the years?
Just like Florida, 100%. It's all about believing.
Well, you got past Florida, but no disrespect to you, but I guess I'm asking you as a former player who's been out there and played those teams to where it's like I've got a mental block here just a little bit.
Well, the players didn't. I mean, the players on this team lost to Florida last year.
Yeah.
They didn't play against them for the last 15 years. Now, when you look at Alabama, there's a 3 next to Alabama's name. And that's something that you just can't think about.
Yeah.
You watch them on film, you can see opportunities to go make plays. I mean, A&M made plays against them, other teams made plays against them, Texas. So you look at those plays, and you should have confidence that you can do some of the same things. I think Tennessee will give Alabama some trouble. I don't think their DBs are as good as Nick Saban is used to. I don't think their receivers are dynamic. They don't have the Jalen Waddles and Devontae Smiths anymore. They're serviceable. They're good, but Tennessee, this is the year right now. I mean, to be able to get Alabama, it's going to be electric atmosphere. I think the players feed off the crowd so much. They did it last week. They did it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I think they'll do it this weekend too.
What this team knows is last year they were in a one-score game to start the fourth quarter. Now, Alabama won the fourth quarter and pulled away, but they were right there entering the final frame in Tuscaloosa.
At Bryant Denny.
But here's the thing. Since Nick Saban took over, Tennessee has come close against Alabama about 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
All of them at Bryant Denny. The games in Knoxville have not been close. They have been bludgeonings, beatdowns, blowouts. For whatever reason, can Tennessee find a way to be right there heading to the fourth quarter in Knoxville for a change? Would be interesting to see how all that transpires if they can find a way to be in there in the fourth quarter.
So when Florida came, not only did you have game day here, you had Checker Neyland, you had the gray uniforms when you were at LSU. Anything else besides college game day coming that's going to be different? I mean, the regular uniforms.
Orange and white. All the traditional rivalries will have orange and white. That's a kind of a Tennessee thing now. Any other of those, LSU, Arkansas, A&M, Kentucky, those type games, anything's on the table. But Florida, Georgia, Alabama, orange and white.
Where's Ty Simpson?
He's
at Alabama.
He's riding the bench.
He's the third-string quarterback.
Well, no, the reason I asked the question is because who they had playing quarterback was just not very impressive, and it's like I've seen Ty Simpson play. Not that it matters. I just wondered where Ty Simpson is.
He's the third-string quarterback. I mean, they just feel more comfortable with Milroe as their guy, and because he can make plays with his legs, a little more experienced, and I don't think they think Ty is there yet. So he's number 3.
What are you most concerned about in this game for Tennessee? Most concerned?
Their pass rush on the outside. I mean, Will Anderson is the best college football player in the country. Number 15 is pretty dang good too. They have a dynamic trio of edge rushers that if we don't block and if we don't take care of our protections and
there goes the timing,
then they can give Hendon Hooker some trouble. So I would say their pass rush is probably the most thing I fear the most.
Yeah, for Tennessee, to me, it's beating yourself, whether it be turnovers, which they've not done to this point, or penalties. And so, let's say, Tennessee knows, hey, Those guys are really good, so we're going to get the ball out of our hands. We're going to have to use the quick passing game, which means receivers got to block well. Well, receivers can also hold or block in the back. That happened a couple times yesterday.
Yeah.
And so, like that, those are things Tennessee can't do against a team like Alabama, is beat yourself with holding penalties by wide receivers or blocking the back penalties by wide receivers. That, be content with 4 or 5 yards instead of trying to spring 45 yards.
Okay, so I've got to take a break. We've got about 2 minutes when we come back. I want to talk about how does this change Tennessee's bowl plans? Win, lose, or draw this week. Win, lose, or draw against Georgia. How has the landscape changed? We'll do that when we come back.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Pilot Company, Ted Russell Ford, Food City, and Lincoln Memorial University.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Costa. Dr. Malone and I here at Knoxville Smiles are here to help you with any of your dental needs, whether it's a routine cleaning, a root canal, or if you just want some advice. Did you know that you don't have to settle for a denture anymore? My team and Dr. Malone are here to help you no matter where you're at and to help you figure out the truth for your dental health. So give us a call or visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Matlock Tire has a reputation for being a little bit old school. We're proud to be known for our outstanding hometown customer service. We've been doing things that way for over 60 years. But Matlock now offers new modern conveniences, such as family-friendly waiting areas, online appointment scheduling. You can even shop for tires and see our current stock right from your computer or smartphone. We invite you to stop into one of our 5 convenient locations or come see us online at matlocktireservice.com. Modern convenience, hometown service. Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
I chose LMU because I wanted doors to open for me. For my future to have endless possibilities. To know I could become anything I wanted to be. Objection, Your Honor. I always wanted to say that. So whether I wanted to be a veterinarian, a high school teacher, let's turn to page 32, or a successful dentist, I knew LMU would help me get there. All I had to do was open the door.
Your chance to win lunch with the Vols, HillaryFrostHomes.com. We will announce the winner Sunday night, December the 4th. Who knows what we'll be talking about December the 4th at this point? HillaryFrostHomes.com. Okay, so not get too big for our britches here and say that you're winning all your games and you're playing for a national championship. It's possible, but let's say
can't win them all if you don't win your first 5.
Oh, thank you. Let's say you lose to Alabama and Georgia and you finish 10-2. Let's just say.
Then you're in the
Where
New
you
Year's,
going?
You're in the New Year's Six, and you have to think those 2 teams are in the college football playoff, which means you're probably in New Orleans, back on the Bayou, but not for breakfast, for a late night tilt in the Sugar Bowl, which would be the first time Tennessee's been to the Sugar Bowl since they played Virginia in 1991.
Hey, sounds good to me. I'll be going this time.
So what are you scared about?
Nothing. I think Tennessee's floor is
Let's say they're 9-3. Floor's 9-3.
I think it depends on how the season plays out. 9-3. I think 9-3 and the Citrus Bowl is the absolute worst they can do. And then anything better than that's the New Year's Six and 10-2. So
this team's better than 9-3 right now. It would take somebody getting hurt like Henry Hooker to be 9-3. I don't see another team beating Tennessee outside of Alabama and Georgia.
See, I think Tennessee can beat South Carolina, Missouri, and Kentucky, even with Joe Milton. Because I think Joe Milton's a different player now.
Exactly.
Okay, Tennessee, Alabama, Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time, CBS at the Vols beat Bama. You know what I'm wearing next week?
Orange underwear. You said
and an orange jacket.
Well, you show the people at home the orange underwear.
Please don't.
Yeah, that's awful. Scary.